Good morning to you on this first day of September at 7:29. I'm Maddie Kurth, and Hannah Gard joins us now with your Weather Authority forecast. Hannah, I know people are looking at this holiday weekend. Don't want to see that on the screen.
I know we do have a lot of rain on the radar still this morning, especially down in the coastal areas. Y'all really have not caught a break from this rain. It's been since yesterday that we've continued to see those storms. They're mainly staying offshore though right now. We've seen a couple of showers trying to get inland. Bay St. Louis, you have a little bit of rain over there. Gulfport, light rain though. And then we saw these rain showers extending across St. Bernard Parish. They're now backing off toward the coast, but we're seeing a couple of little downpours climbing up the river down to the south. This is where most of the heavier rainfall is hanging out down there. We've seen consistent rain over near Port Fourchon. We're starting to see some heavier rainfall climbing up Terrebonne Parish though. So these are what we need to watch, these kind of bands of rain that are moving really slowly, because if we do see one of those extend over the coastal populated areas like Houma, we could see some street flooding. LaRose, we just had some rain move through there. This is now kind of moving to the east of Raceland. So the flooding threat is mainly for the coast because, again, it's going to be those storms sitting down near the coastal areas, mainly offshore. But today we'll be watching for those tropical downpours trying to climb farther inland. They're going to be heaviest in the morning and early afternoon. That's when tropical activity peaks. And then we'll be watching for that heavy rain to maybe lead to some isolated street flooding. This is being driven by that low pressure system that continues to sit offshore. It's actually moved a little bit farther south since yesterday, which means this axis of disturbed weather has moved farther south as well. And it will continue to drop in that southward direction, which is good for our forecast tomorrow because we'll see the rain chances kind of backing off. But you can see on the modeling, we have these bands that try to climb inland. So that's what I'm worried about for the potential flooding threat. If we do see a heavy downpour, it's going to be very isolated. So isolated flood threat today, not widespread. But you can see that axis kind of moving offshore. We continue to see coastal showers and storms tomorrow morning. So y'all still not really getting a break except for in the evening hours. And then we see a few showers as the flow switches. This is from the north across the North Shore, but many of us are going to be dry for your Labor Day for the most part. Tuesday, again, that disturbance stays offshore. We have this cold front coming down, so we could see a couple of scattered showers, but the heavy rain is going to come back into play later in the week. You can see these yellows offshore. That's up to 10 inches in some areas. And then you can see those purples extending inland as well. So we have to watch for street flooding potential Wednesday and then again on Thursday, because that front coming down is going to lift the tropical moisture that's to the southwest of us up across the area and then eventually out of here. But Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we'll see that rain and then it will be out of here by next weekend. So next weekend does look a little bit drier, but we do catch a break, luckily, just in time for Labor Day. So the holiday not looking too wet. But looking at the tropics, the National Hurricane Center has outlined this disturbance. As it continues to sit over the Gulf, it's pretty warm. We could see some slow development, but the impacts will be the same. That moisture is eventually going to get pulled over us, which will increase those rain chances. We also have two other waves. This one off the coast of Africa looks like a recurver, so that'll mean it'll go up to the north, so fish storm. But we're watching this one, this disturbance that's going to head toward the Lesser Antilles. It does have some low-level circulation trying to form, but this wave right now, kind of weak. It'll head toward the Lesser Antilles over the island chain and then enter the Caribbean. So as that plume of moisture gets into the Caribbean, that's when we need to watch where it forms, even if it forms, and when. Because if we do see this make it to the northwestern Caribbean and strengthen, it's something we want to keep a close eye on in the Gulf. But right now this is 8 to 11 days out. So we'll continue to watch it closely as we head into next week. The next name on the list is Francine. Now it is the first day of meteorological fall, which means that we're going to start to see those temperatures cooling off. We'll get 5 degrees cooler by the start of October and then down into the 70s by the beginning of November. We've kind of been bouncing around, but what that means is we won't really see those variations as much up into the mid 90s. So it's going to be cooler, but this week not looking bad. Right now our temperatures are in the upper 70s. Today we're going to stay in the mid 80s with a couple of those downpours and cloudy skies. And then for your Labor Day, we will heat up a little bit. Back into the low 90s, maybe a shower or two, Maddie, but it's not going to be widespread rainfall. Later in the week is when the rain chances come back, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Keeps the temperatures down, but we do have to watch again for that flooding potential as we go throughout the work week.
Of course, we got to, take what we can get. We're cooking underneath that sun, so we wanted a little bit of break in the temperatures, but I know that heat helps us when the hurricanes come, so we're just going to have to stay really weather aware.
Yeah, the high pressure is what keeps those storms away. This is persistent low pressure over the region. Not great news, not a pattern we want to see, so we got to keep watching the Atlantic.
All right, will do. Thank you, Hannah.